There's a challenge to Utah's clerical law. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints claims in some instances church leaders don't have to report crimes of child sex abuse. The Utah Supreme Court heard arguments about this case, and ABC4's Marcos Ortiz was there. Marcos, what's it all about?
Well, this 14-year-old girl, at the time, she was only 14-year-old, confided in her LDS bishop that she had been sexually abused. Now, by law, he's supposed to report this crime to law enforcement, but he failed to do so. Now, today, before the U.S. Supreme Court, attorneys for the LDS Church claim that the First Amendment protects this LDS bishop from reporting. She's a mother now, but as a 14-year-old, Karina Menlove was charged with child abuse murder. She gave birth to a stillborn baby at the family's Sandy home, but hid the fetus. She pleaded guilty, but the case was later overturned. Back then, she turned to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints helpline. She met with her LDS bishop to report the sex abuse case, which she claims led to her pregnancy.
That was not sitting there as a discussion for confession. That was make it stop. And he chose not to report it.
Menlove says another teen, who is now a sheriff deputy, abused her. He never faced charges, but paid damages in a civil suit. Now, Menlove's family is seeking justice against the LDS bishop and the church for failing to report the sex abuse in the first place.
No one was ever held criminally accountable for anything except Karina for being a victim.
In front of the Utah Supreme Court, attorneys for the church claim the First Amendment protects the bishop because he's offering spiritual guidance. But Menlove's attorney says Utah's law requiring clergy to report sex abuse crimes against children is at stake, and Menlove knows she's a test case.
If I have to be the guinea pig, why not? We're at the Utah Supreme Court. Let's make a difference in the world. Let's make this right.
Now, afterwards, attorneys for the LDS Church refused to talk publicly about this case. Now, we won't have an answer from the Utah Supreme Court for another 3 months, and we'll keep following this story. In Salt Lake City, Marcos Ortiz, ABC4 News.
Hello, everybody. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, and I got an email just this morning, and I seen the subject line, and it's like, that's really important, so I had to open it. And I hope William doesn't mind me sharing it. But this is actually to everyone who does activism. And it doesn't matter what religion, what beliefs, or anything. This is to all of us, you know, who feel the need to expose these religions / cults for what they do to, you know, abuse survivors, the victims. So the subject says, Mormon rape victims are learning from your work as former Jehovah's Witnesses. Look at what happened yesterday. Hi folks, as a former Mormon who was excommunicated from the Mormon Church, I want to first say thank you for your recent videos. They are very accurate about our faith / abuse cover-ups. I have provided a YouTube link to one of our sisters in the Mormon Church who this past Sunday, and it would have been September 2nd, 2018, openly exposes a pedophile who raped her. Notice how the bishop tries to suppress her. It seems like victims within our church are learning from the work your ex-members are doing. They are affecting so many people's lives, not just people in your own faith. Thank you for all your hard work. God bless. These are our fellow humans. We've had people, you know, tell us, oh, well, you need to just focus on Watchtower. Take Watchtower down. They all need to be exposed for what they do. You know, we're all in this together. We're all abuse survivors. Whether it's spiritual abuse, physical abuse, you know, sexual abuse, we're all survivors. These are our brothers and sisters, basically, our fellow humans. They need help. And look what they're doing. This brave woman, you know, goes into a Mormon church, and I mean, it's just amazing. And I'll show the clip in a minute. And I'm going to put the link down below to her full video. But if all of us XJWs, you know, can help others from other religions, you know, this is a momentum that is like a snowball rolling down a hill. It's just gaining momentum. Can you imagine if it wasn't just the ex-JW community or just the ex-Mormon community, and all of us united to go after these cults, my God, what a voice that would be. Think about that. This is no longer about Watchtower. They're going down. You know, they're doing more damage to themselves than any of us could. My goodness, people are waking up left and right. They are watching these videos. And it isn't just ex-JWs watching, you know, ex-JW videos. It's everyone now. And like I said, we've been getting a lot of these emails. But this one I had to, you know, read. And I want to show the clips. So I just want to cover a few things about the Mormons and their child abuse problem. Now in this first clip, I want to show how the Mormon Church publicly, you know, says they treat child abuse survivors. And then I want to show a clip from McKenna's video of how they really treat them.
Sometimes persons will approach you with problems of abuse that took place many years ago. As they try to reconstruct childhood memories, they often have difficulty determining what actually happened. Memory is complex and may be unreliable. What actually happened may never be determined, but the present pain is real. Bishop, respond with respect, patience, kindness, and support.
We're teaching our people. We are talking about it. We have set up a course of instruction for our bishops all across the nation. All last year we carried on an educational program. We've set up a helpline for them where they can get professional counseling and help with these problems.
Call the helpline when you believe there has been abuse and you need to talk with someone who can answer basic questions about this grievous problem. Call the number on the screen. This number can also be found in the brochure Responding to Abuse. Qualified professionals are available for consultation to help you provide appropriate guidance for the persons and families you're counseling. As you gather information on how to respond to each case of abuse, develop a specific plan of action and seek spiritual guidance and confirmation in implementing that plan. You have the right to inspiration to protect those who may be at risk and those who may have been abused. Respond quickly but carefully to their needs and help them understand they are not to blame.
Us must be vigilant. Emotional and physical abuse occur when an individual, in most cases an adult, causes emotional or physical harm to a child. The abuse may include such acts as the real threat of abandonment, cursing, demeaning comments, beating, withholding of food or essential medical care, and other such serious deprivations. Sexual abuse includes any lewd or sexual act between an adult and a child, or the sexual exploitation of a child. Viewing child pornography often motivates later sexual deviations between an adult and a child.
I quote from our handbook of instructions. The church's position is that abuse cannot be tolerated in any form. Those who abuse are subject to church discipline. They should not be given church callings and may not have a temple recommend. Even if a person who abused a child sexually or physically receives church discipline and is later restored to full fellowship or readmitted by baptism, leaders should not call the person to any position working with children or youth unless the First Presidency authorizes removal of the annotation of the person's membership record.
In addition, the Church Handbook indicates that a person who has been placed on formal probation, discipline, or excommunication for the abuse of a child requires First Presidency approval before their status can be changed.
I speak from the depths of my heart to each one of you who have been scarred by the ugly sin of abuse, whether you are a member or non-member of the Church. I solemnly testify that when another's violence, perversion, incest, cause you deep harm against your will, you are not responsible, and you must not feel guilty. Healing best begins with your sincere prayer, asking your Father in heaven for help. That use of your agency allows divine intervention. When you permit it, the love of the Savior will soften your heart, break the cycle of abuse that can transform a victim into an aggressor. Adversity, even when caused willfully by others' unrestrained appetite, can be a source of growth when viewed from the perspective of eternal principle. The victim must do all in his or her power to stop the abuse. Most often the victim is innocent because of being disabled by fear or the power or authority of the offender. At some point in time, however, the Lord may prompt a victim to recognize a degree of responsibility for abuse. Your priesthood leader will help you assess your responsibility so that if needed, it can be addressed. Otherwise, the seeds of guilt will remain and sprout into bitter fruit. Yet no matter what degree of responsibility, from absolutely none to increasing consent, the healing power of the atonement of Jesus Christ can provide a complete cure. Forgiveness can be obtained for all involved in abuse.
I'm a visitor. I don't live here. I live in Colorado. I'm really grateful, though, to be able to stand up and bear my testimony today because I have great confidence and love for the Savior. Edmund Burke said that the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. The First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12 Apostles are covering a sexual predator that lives in your ward. His name is Joseph Bishop. He was the MTC president in 1984 when he raped me in the basement of the MTC. If you're not aware of this, thank you. Yeah, I'll be done in just a minute.
Have you sit down.
I will, thank you.
I'd love to talk to you afterwards.
Okay.
Can I talk to you
However,
afterwards?
absolutely, I'd love to talk to you afterwards.
Can I please?
However, for the atonement to take place, we have to be accountable for what we do. We don't get to. Thank you.
Talk to you, okay?
But you know what? You're in my personal space.
Okay.
Excuse. No. I have more to say. My name is
You're welcome
McKenna
to share with
Jensen.
me. Okay.
I approve this
You're welcome to share
message.
with me.
I will share with you.
I'd like
However,
to share with you
it is really important. It is really important that you understand. In order to keep our ward safe, in order to keep our church safe, do not call the police. Don't touch me. You're assaulting me. In order to keep the church safe, we need to hold sexual predators accountable, whether they are pedophiles or whether they are rapists like Joseph Bishop.
This is not a place for you to share this, okay? Come on.
You know, this is assault, right? And you know that we're filming this, right?
This is not assault.
What a brave lady, my goodness. And you've seen it. Those two elders, bishop, whatever you want to call them, accosted her, hauled her off the platform. My heart and thoughts and prayer go out, to all of the victims and for these brave ones that are standing up and speaking out about their abuse. And we just hope that this momentum, keeps going the way it is. And just message to everybody, just keep it up. Keep it up. Everybody, is starting to realize what is going on in these churches and that this is not going to stay hidden or quiet anymore. And I was actually shocked at that quorum of the 12 apostles, Richard Scott, when he said that even the victims has an accountability and responsible. It's like, oh my God, these are innocent children. But, I do know, just like Jehovah's Witnesses, that, they can hold the child accountable. Oh, well, they seduced me.
When my daughter was 6, we received a call from my general authority father-in-law and his wife Janine, informing us that we needed to tell our daughter that she could no longer sit on his lap because she, along with another 6-year-old, was promiscuous with him. This accusation was recorded by a key witness involved in that accusation. At age 12, my daughter had put 2 and 2 together. Her molestation stopped at the same time she stopped sitting on Grandpa's lap. This is not the typical he said, she said pedophilia case. Elder Mickelson made the first accusation against not 1, but 2 6-year-old girls claiming that they were promiscuous with him, never providing any detail of what they actually did to him. In early March 2006, 3 months before my divorce, Elder Mickelson came to my offices unannounced. We began discussing the sexual dysfunction of his daughter, my now ex-wife, and the molestation of her younger sister by the high priest physician that lived next door to them in Idaho. I inquired as to why nothing was done about the younger sister, and immediately he changed the subject by offering me money.
Just some quick questions, if I may. I would like to know if this is your doing or your idea.
No.
Have you sent her to the attorneys?
No.
And you're not funding her attorneys? Oh, you are funding her attorneys? Okay.
You know, the last time we talked, Ron, the way you treated me, the hatred, the rancor,
Wait, weren't you the one that... But weren't you...
The conversation about my daughter was way over the top.
Wow.
And,
I thought we shook hands and left on good terms.
Well, we did. We did. I just left knowing that I offered, and you said no way, I wouldn't take any money from you. You know, I didn't instigate this at all. You need to understand that.
Okay. Well, I just need to know who I'm dealing with. I will we'll be in touch, I'm sure. Thank you. Thank you much.
He offered me money. I went to the Quorum of the 12 Apostles with this bribe, my evidences, and the abnormal sexual patterns. I provided each one of them with a certified letter in 2007 and again in 2008, yet they stood squarely behind their general authority. And quite understandably so, they had much more to lose than simply the reputation of one general authority. These 12 apostles should be no less culpable than the administrators in the Penn State case. You see, Elder Mickelson's accusation against these 2 6-year-olds coincided with his being called in 2002 by Apostle Richard D. Scott to co-chair the translation of the LDS Spanish Bible together with him. This explains Elder Scott's orchestration of my divorce. He couldn't be responsible for selecting a pedophile to translate that Spanish Bible. Suddenly, the doctrine of being called of God takes on a whole new dimension. In very real terms, my family was sacrificed on the altar of that Spanish Bible.
It's all the same. They're all the same. So thank you for watching, and for all of you out there, thank you so much, for your emails and your comments. And you can get in touch with us through watchtower.exposed. Click on contact and send us a private message. And we are trying to read through as many emails as quickly as possible. I believe I'm working on March's emails, either March or April. I've lost count, but I'm trying to get through those as much as possible. Joe, the runaway slave, talked to someone named Kathy in the UK. So Kathy, I want to do a shout out and send you a big hug. Hang in there, sweetie. I know you're going through a rough time, and just know you're not alone. And this is what it's about. All of us, showing love and support for one another. Forget all this backbiting, all this drama, all this fighting. I don't need that. because I want to stay focused on people, you know, hurting ones and the survivors. And we hope you all have a wonderful week, and God bless. Bye.